Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 2 of Culture Chit Chat podcast. I hope you guys are doing very well, and I'm super happy those of you coming back to episode 2. I've gotten so much love from episode 1, so I just wanted to thank you, and I'm super excited to grow this community, grow this podcast, and just talk one-on-one. I'm so happy. Eee. So today's subject would be comparing my life, or just comparing in general, France, like living in France and living in the UAE, because I grew up in the UAE in Dubai, and I've lived in France for 3 years, like fully, because I did like 1 year abroad. So I'm gonna just be comparing and giving my opinion on life here, pros and cons. So I've had it requested as well to compare my life here, my life there. So right now I'm in Paris, in France. So obviously I'm more used to Dubai's lifestyle because I grew up there. I've lived there for approximately like 18 years, and I've lived in France, like I've said, like only like 3 years. But since I'm studying here and working, I can see different sides of France now. I can kind of like, you know, give my opinion, let's say. So let's get started. So the most popular, oh my god, my stomach is just growling. Okay, so first point that's very popular is Dubai's safety. We all know that the UAE is quite safe in every aspect, I could say, compared to France. I know that like when I'm in France, when I'm here, basically I'm always being careful, like everywhere, all the time. Now, obviously at night more than during the day, but it's a shame because, like, on a daily basis, you just hear like atrocities, like on TV, on French TV. I don't know, this man had a knife and killed children, and this man did that, and this woman did that, and the government did that, and everyone's dying, and it's just not happy. This like children get kidnapped or assaulted or killed, or I don't know, whatever it is, it's just like on a daily basis. I'm just like, why? Why are there this many bad news every single day in a country? It shouldn't happen. Whereas in Dubai, obviously, like bad things happen everywhere. So obviously, I'm not saying that Dubai is like 100% like perfect. It obviously has its flaws. But first of all, you don't hear it as much. Like, things are just taken care of. It's just people come there to live for a reason. They have a work visa, so if they don't work, they get out of the country, they leave the country, like they just go home. They're on a student visa, whatever visa it is. It's just like they're there for a reason. You can't just be like doing nothing, if you know what I mean. So like, yeah, in Dubai, there, like in the UAE in general, there are like stories that I've heard of while growing up, but they're very few. I feel like these kind of infos you don't really see like on international news. It's usually just like local. It never really gets out. They're really good at, keeping their image quite, positive and good. So yeah, obviously there are bad things that happen, but they're very limited, and you don't really hear much of it. So you're not like, all the time, like just scared. Whereas here, I feel like you're always scared, especially during the night. Obviously, like, I take precautions, obviously, and I've developed this like habit of walking super fast. Let me tell you, I am a natural like speed walker, I could say, because I have like long legs. But since I've started living here, apart from like running after like transportation, like buses and trains and whatever, I'm just super careful. I just walk fast. I just want to get home quick. I just want to get to school quick. I don't want to be wandering on the streets, whether it's during the day or at night. Especially at night, like I don't I don't put in my earphones in my ears, or I just put like one just in case, so I can like be like fully alerted of what's happening around me. Just walk straight, always look behind me. Like, I'm just like, it's like I'm a maniac, like I'm a psychopath, whatever it is. Like, I'm just scared. But it's kind of natural it's a natural thing to do when you hear all of the freaking atrocities and crimes in this country. I swear sometimes it's like in your own city and just hear it on TV. You're just like, oh my God, now it's like people are killing in my own city, like, bro, like, excuse me. So yeah, that's an issue that's obviously like in so many countries in this world, which is so unfortunate. But it was one of like the really positive things about the UAE, and it's just we did live in a bubble where it's like, okay, we don't have crime scenes in the city. But it was a good bubble. Like, I'm not complaining. I just grew up being able to walk out the streets without my mom being weird and calling me every like 5 minutes if I got somewhere or whatever it is. So that was point number one. Point number two is like talking about this like government like subject. In France, you have a more democratic government, so it's like more, you vote, you kind of have the liberties of doing some things. You're kind of free. Side eye. And in Dubai, it's an oligarch. How do I pronounce this in English? Like, I know that in French it's oligarchie. English, it's like oligarchy. Whatever. So basically, it's like a group of people that have power, and in this case, it's like the royal family. So it can't be like a random person that takes over. It can't be. It has to be like family. So it's not a dictatorship. It's close to that, but it's not. They're quite cool. It's a cool dictatorship, if I may say. I feel like with the government you have in most countries, so democratic, people say you're free and you have, your liberties and you can vote and you can do that and you can do that. I feel like people are never happy with what they have. So it could be a bad thing, but it can also be a good thing. It's just like accept it or leave it, accept the religion, accept the culture, accept the laws. So there's some good sides and bad sides to both. But I feel like Dubai's government suits me because I'm just happy with how it is. You don't have like strikes, like transportation strikes every 2 days. So you go to work like peacefully, you go to school peacefully, you have good education. I can go on and on. It's a huge list. So that's that. Third point is quality of life. So obviously, like, one of the reasons why people go to Dubai is one for the safe side of it, but also the quality of life. Yes, indeed. How can I say this? In France, people have attitude. Okay. In Dubai, people are not really allowed to have attitude because a customer is always right. You know what I mean? I got used to good service. So, people are happy to serve you. People are happy to, help you and support you. And they always have like a smile on their faces. And it's just like, I'm just like, I prefer paying like a good price, like expensive, but like with good quality service rather than like, let's say like a restaurant where people are just like mad and just like throwing things at you and just have to pay. It just like hurts my heart. I'm just like, why are you like that with me? So, and also like in Dubai, you have like really easy access to everything. Whereas in France, like, first of all, not everyone has a car. I don't have a car. So you have to pass by transportation and it takes you like an hour to go somewhere. And it's just like annoying. And then also paperwork is super like difficult. And you just have to go through like 1,000 like steps to do something, or it's just a pain sometimes. But again, like I haven't lived my working adult life in Dubai yet. So I don't know how this really goes. Like, But all I know is that even my own parents, they know that paperwork is so much like more complex here and difficult than in Dubai, because like Dubai, it's like if it's like online, it's the platforms are easy to use. You have apps and sites that are well developed, whereas here they can tell you like, okay, you can do this online. You don't even have to come here to do it. Okay, so you go on the site and it's like so badly done. It's just like it's not working, and or it takes like a month or two to they take so long to get back to you for something or whatever it is. Just like it's tiring. It's tiring. Okay. So one thing I really like about France is like the beautiful sceneries and just like the country is big, so you have like kind of everything. You have the beach. The beaches are really nice, especially in the south of France. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. You have mountains on like the east and west. You just have like beautiful sceneries. Like even Paris is very beautiful, like the architecture, the city. You can see the Eiffel Tower, whereas in Dubai you can see Burj Khalifa less and less, with all the constructions and buildings that are just constructed like all around it, like, and it's just you get to see it less, But in France, it's like very pretty, I think, and I don't know, it's like very beautiful to see. It's very pure and very very nice and very natural sceneries. Also, like some of the foods, like cheese and fruits and vegetables, are more natural. Like they have less pesticides and things, and have very good taste. Whereas in Dubai, since everything, like most of the things are exported or imported, sorry, um, they obviously put a lot of products on these fruits and vegetables in order for them to stay, um, well and good looking for a longer amount of time. By the time they arrive with the plane or with the boat, and whatever. So it's just they lose in taste, and it's just not as good for health, for your health, than the products that you have like locally in France. And this is one of the good things, it's like you can eat healthy, and that it's like you can buy good quality products for not as, I mean, obviously like life is getting super expensive, but it won't be as expensive as fruits and vegetables that barely have taste in Dubai. The country itself it's very charming. Like there's a lot of like cultural places to visit, a lot of museums and a lot of history to it. So it's super, super interesting, that like aspect. So I just love this, a lot of castles and a lot of just history. So it's like you have a lot of things to see and learn about. There's the Louvre and just random like expositions and the luxury history and fashion. And it's just a lot of things began in France or just Europe in general. In Dubai, the country is, I mean, every time I say Dubai, I say country, but it's not. So in the UAE, the country is like very, like way more like recent, like approximately like 50 years of history. And it's not like as developed as the history you have in Europe. In the UAE, it's mostly like they have like pearls, and they have like it was a desert, there wasn't that many things to do and things that happened either ways. Yeah, that's a very good aspect, like a positive aspect that I have in France, finally. And last but not least, you have education. So I have talked about it really briefly earlier, but I've noticed that education is so much better in the UAE. Why, you may ask? Because people obviously are there for a certain reason. They don't go there just because they're forced to or because whatever. They're People are selected like carefully, and whereas here it's like I went to French school, so you would expect that, French schools in France have better education and are better schools, but in fact, they are not. International schools abroad are so much better and have better education. We're more disciplined. I'm not saying that schools here are not like they're not disciplined, but a lot of them are not. Like, if you want to go to a very disciplined school, it has to be like a very, like, high end high school, like in the central of Paris, or like a very famous one where it's really difficult to get in. Like, you have to have like really, really good grades. Whereas like normal basic schools in like the suburbs of Paris, for example, it's sometimes it's very chaotic. Bad things happen. People don't respect teachers, and a lot of things happen that I hear of, and I see. So I'm really grateful that I've had a very good education in school. There's a better like high school like education in the UAE uh, than in France. But on the contrary, I think that college education, university education is better abroad, better in France or in Europe in general, uh, than in the UAE, just because they're not very known abroad. Like I've said before, like there's history to this country, and so colleges and universities that have been built and founded like ages ago, like years and years and years ago, like hundreds of years ago. A lot of universities here are prestigious and good quality. Like, that if you go to a university in France, people will take you more seriously for some reason. I don't know. But then again, it doesn't mean anything. But if you're counting on a diploma to get you somewhere, well, the UAE's like diplomas aren't as popular as the ones in Europe. I'm not saying that they're bad in the UAE, because I have a lot of friends that do study now in the UAE, but a lot of the universities they go to are partnered with unis in the UK and Ireland, Scotland, whatever it is, like Britain, for example, or French. Like, you have like La Sorbonne in Abu Dhabi. So you have a bunch of like universities like that, but local universities are not very, are not superb, like people, if you tell them you went to this uni, they're gonna be like, I've never heard of it. So yeah, that was the last one I wanted to talk about. But overall, I know that there are good things, like good points and bad points in both. But maybe it's just my opinion, and that like the fact that I've lived in the UAE for longer, it makes the fact that like I prefer the UAE over France. It's just my preference, and I'm just more comfortable in this kind of like lifestyle rather than the lifestyle here. I do think that thanks to my experience living here, I've learned so many things. I've learned so much, and it actually like developed certain skills, like just like social skills and just everything. Like, I'm more aware. Like I've said before, like in Dubai, you're kind of like in a bubble, so there's some things you're not really aware of, or like we grew up a bit naive, but so it really opened my eyes about like all the atrocities in this world. But I'm just joking. But it has taught me a lot, so I don't regret coming here and studying and living and working, whatever. But like every human being, I have a preference, and you know it is my home country after all. The UAE is my home country because I've lived there most of my life. And yeah, I do want to know your opinion. Which do you think would be better? would you prefer living in the UAE or France, or which country do you feel better in? Like, I want to know everything, like all your thoughts about, this subject in the comments. And I really, really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm so excited to come back with a new one soon. Don't forget to, like and subscribe to this channel, to this podcast, and give me your opinion. Whether it's good or bad, let me know what you think. And I will see you really, really soon with a new episode. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye.